Okay, wanted to take a update of my 300-gallon reef tank, which I haven't done a whole heck of a lot, but kind of let go. Reason being is, man, I mean, I've had diatom bloom after cyano bloom after diatom bloom, and I have let the hair algae go because I have lost SPS in here. I have lost literally several hundred heads of frog spawn, which I finally gave up on, and I'm quite sure was part of my phosphate cycle. And so, you know, right now though, I'm kind of I'm on the downhill part. But I wanted to take a video of the hair algae because it is showing the flow patterns in this tank created by the Ocean Motions device and how random they really are. So nothing in here is really, you know, violently swaying. There's no strong flow, I think, anywhere, but there is medium flow and gentle flow and definitely constantly changing. So I'll just hold it on this patch of algae for a little bit, and you know, you'll watch sometimes it'll be left, right, up, down. So, you know, and you know where I'm at is, well, first of all, right now I have the overflow is not tuned. I've changed something in the garage, to make a long story short, and haven't retuned the overflow, but I have pretty much dead silence of this tank in the house. So and that was a very huge goal of mine. So for me to add some tunesies, or I'm certainly not putting in any MP40s or 60s. I've had MP40s before. I hate the word. They are loud. They were brand new. They are loud. They, compared to a dead silent tank, they are loud. So I won't be going that way. I think I am going to grow out my tank with whatever corals want to live in the flow that I've designed. And, you know, really, you can refer to other videos of mine to see what that flow entails. But, you know, really quickly, you know, I've got returns in the two upper corners. And that's in a Walkie 100, you know, high pressure to, 2,000 gallon per hour return. And then in all four corners of the tank, I've got these exposed so we can see. On the bottom, front, left, and right, I've got nozzles there. And then if you look in there, ooh, at a big angle, you can kind of see there's a big flow eductor in there. And there's also one on the left side. You can kind of see where that one piece of hair algae is being, you know, it's coming out a little bit more violent than others. So I've got the Ocean Motions device providing this random current. It's basically, it's kitty corner, left and right, so opposite corners, front, so it'd be front, left, right, rear, and then front, right, left, rear, alternating. And then, so the other way to tell the flow is to look at the surface water, and you can see where it actually periodically touches the Eurobrace in the center on, you know, there's the left one going now, and if you wait a minute, the right one will come in. And that's how the Ocean Motions device is, you know, changing its patterns. So, yeah, that is some of my. Wow, that looks really bright red through my viewer here on this camera phone. That patch of cyano was behind the Duncan 3 days ago and has moved forward. And crazy how, you know, the diatoms are here in the center, but take a look at the corners. In theory, I mean, this tank, look at the corners and behind the rocks. In theory, this tank is like perfect. Nothing settles, as far as flow is concerned, nothing settles on the sand bed. I can feed this tank right now. You'll see food drop and make it to that sand bed, and it'll get picked up in the natural current gently and rise to the top. Nothing sits in the back corners. Nothing sits anywhere behind this tank. The sand bed is only in the front area like this. And I still have yet to place these corals that are on these frag racks, but the whole idea would be to have a completely open center. So that's my remainder of frog spawn. That's the center portion of an 80-plus head colony that I had two of. Well, I had a 200-plus colony, and it split when I grabbed, as soon as I touched it. And I'm hanging on to it, seeing if, can this come back. Unfortunately, these freaking Heniochus, they like to nip. I've seen pieces of the frog spawn floating around in this tank. So they are the reef safe ones, but nothing is guaranteed to be reef safe now, is it? Yeah, long video. Sorry I haven't updated previously, but the tank didn't go where I really thought it would be by now. I really thought that in the fall, Christmas time, I would be loading this thing full of corals over the winter, since that's the time to do it, really. And so apparently I'm going to be behind a year, but I didn't want to add anything when I was still going through these crazy cycles. I didn't want to clean this hair algae off because, hey man, it's helping to keep my water clean now, isn't it? And I've got my garage system out there. I've got a refugium going, and it's picking up, and I'm noticing this hair algae starting to look thin and weak as the nutrients are being depleted. So I got no issue with that. It'll be gone. Man, I don't know what else to say. Sorry I haven't kept everybody updated, but just been kind of in a little funk that you spend a year overthinking everything, putting all the time, effort, money into a build like this, and then you have this long, unexplained cycle. That was the final thing I wanted to comment on. Basically, 90% of the rock that is in here, everything was dry. And with the exception of a few unique top pieces, that one right there is probably the best example. Everything that forms the structures that I've created in here, which I'm pretty happy with, frankly. There's a lot of open areas for fish to pop out of. But anyway, it's all dry reef saver rock. Pretty dense, pretty non-porous, pretty heavy. This time around with this build, although I've never had, I ordered pure Pukani last time. Never had a problem with it. Let it cycle well. But this time, I wanted to make sure I didn't have that porous of a rock that would potentially trap a lot of waste, a lot of detritus and all those pores. So, and I really plan to have a, with the garage system filtration out there, I've got all kinds of options to deal with filtration issues. So, having the dry rock in here, I guess I'm rambling. I went with it because I thought it was a cleaner option. However, I'm starting to consider that it may have been phosphate laden, and that's why I'm having such an extended cycle here. Again, we're not talking about an ammonium nitrite cycle, okay, guys? I think most of you get that. Anyway, I'm going to shut up, right? Thanks for watching.